Why do we fall, sir?
Why do we fall, Bruce?
This is a world you never understand, and you always fear what you don't understand.
There's one thing separating you from who you want to become in the life you want to live, and it's not that far out of reach as you think it is. See, there's a massive problem right now in the world of self-improvement. We have infinite amounts of knowledge at our fingertips at all times. We have countless books, articles, podcasts, and courses we can take, but it's all missing the one thing that actually makes the machine move. It's the reason you're still in the same spot as you were 6 months ago. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. once said, "Many people die with their music still in them." That means many people, most people die not having reached the potential that they had. And I was on this same path until this movie taught me something. Batman Begins shows Bruce as a young child. While playing outside, he fell into a deep well and it was full of bats. The swarm of bats overwhelmed him, and that, paired with the hurt of falling, started his deep fear of bats. Sometime later, Bruce, his mom, and his dad were at an opera, and the performers of the opera reminded Bruce of the bats that he was so scared of. And he's overwhelmed with fear, so he asks his dad if they could leave. And as they left, they're approached by a man outside who's trying to rob them. And while at gunpoint, Bruce's dad tries to give him his wallet so the guy would just leave him alone, but despite his efforts, the guy shot and killed him and his wife. And see, this piles onto the fear that Bruce already lived with, and now it filled him with a guilt that he would live with for years. This guilt later built into a fierce anger that he even said later that his anger outweighed his guilt. A bit later in the movie, we see an adult Bruce who's in an old Chinese prison, and we find out he deliberately placed himself there so to fight other criminals. See, after his parents were killed, Bruce spent a lot of time in isolation, learning how to fight and build his body, and he learned that he had an incredible talent for fighting. That ability, paired with the anger and the guilt of his parents' death, is the reason he's here in this prison. He feels like by him fighting these criminals, he's kind of getting back at the evil that took his parents. And we can all see and understand that although he is fighting evil, it's not really making a difference, and his talent is being wasted. And that's what somebody tells him. After Bruce gets in another fight, he's locked away in isolation, and he's visited by a man who tells him that he can offer him a path. He can see that Bruce has become so overwhelmed with anger that he's become truly lost. He'd become so overwhelmed by what happened to him, it made him drift from where he should have been. Fast forwarding, Bruce decides to join this man and train with him. And then you get this scene on the ice, and I want you to watch this scene because I believe it holds the key to it all.
Your parents' death was not your fault. It was your father's. Anger does not change the fact that your father failed to act.
The man had a gun.
Would that stop you?
I've had training.
The training is nothing. The will is everything. The will to act.
Although Bruce was incredibly skilled, he was bearing his guilt with his anger. Instead of fulfilling his destiny, he was engaging in other activities that was sidelining him from his calling. The lesson that was taught here, although hard to hear, was exactly what Bruce needed, and exactly what I needed. He said the death of your parents was your father's fault. And Bruce says, the man had a gun. And he tells Bruce, you wouldn't have allowed that to happen. And Bruce fires back and says, but I've had training. And then he tells him, training is nothing. The will is everything. The will to act. See, he was cutting through all the excuses and reasonings and getting to the point. You can train all you want, you can learn all you want, but nothing matters without the will to act, to actually do something about it. And that woke something up inside of me. I was letting disappointments and setbacks keep me in the state of learning, reading, watching, but never actually doing. I was spending a lot of time preparing for what I will be doing, but I wasn't actually putting in the action now. And I think a lot of us allow what happened to us in our past to sideline us from what we should be doing. We become victims, and that makes us passive in life. We get stuck in the stage of perpetual planning but never actually doing. It's like ready, aim, fire, except we are ready, aim, 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 aim. We're steadily aiming but never firing. But see, nothing changes until something changes. There's another quote in this movie where Rachel tells Bruce,
"But it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you."
And there's a lot of truth to that. I can be anybody I want inside here, but it doesn't matter unless I actually do something. It's not a talent or a knowledge problem, it's an action problem. You know what you should be doing, but you're just not doing it. So if that's true, how do you actually fix it? How do you actually build the will to act? I think it comes down to three things. The first is the will to act in the face of fear. He told Bruce to stop burying his fear, but to confront it. See, Bruce is making the mistake that most of us make, and that's running from fear or pretending like it's not real. But that's not how you win. You need to go to it. There's power in fear, and when you face it instead of running from it, it becomes your strength. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain." So Bruce uses bats. The thing he fears the most, he embraces it, uses it, instead of it using him. Number two is the will to act in the face of failure. Another beautiful scene in this movie is towards the end when Bruce's mansion is burning and he feels like he's failed.
I wanted to save Gotham. I failed.
Why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
There's only two ways to view failure. The first is to let it destroy you, or you can allow it to help you succeed. Success is only achieved when you allow them to happen and learn from them. The moment you view failure as a negative is the moment you've lost. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." See, each time it didn't work, he learned something from it and he used it on the next one to help him eventually succeed. He didn't view it as a failure, he viewed it as an opportunity to learn from it to help him on the next attempt. It's on how you view failure. The third is the will to act now. There's no other opportunity than what you have right now. Tomorrow doesn't exist. We just hope for it. The only way to affect tomorrow is by what I do today. It's said that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. I can't change how my story started, but I can change how it ends. But it starts today. Imagine there's 5 frogs on a log. 4 decide to jump. How many would be left? Many of us would say there's 1 left, but there's actually 5. See, although they decided to jump, they didn't actually do it. And that's many of us. We decide to do something, we plan to do it, but we never actually do it. Deciding doesn't mean anything. It's all about doing. We must move from deciding to doing.